Hey, Ricky, what do we got? Do you think tomorrow morning we'll wake up with a few inches, or what do you think?
I think you might wake up with like maybe a slushy inch or two tomorrow morning, and then just flurries after that. So.
Okay.
So better make sure we all take our boots out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time to make sure you get a good pair of boots. You know,
Yeah.
I made the mistake last year of staying in my tennis shoes and my feet getting soaked walking to class. Not pleasant. Oswego, I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Rick Garuckas. As we take a look at the current conditions, we see Oswego is already down to 28 degrees, and those temperatures are bottoming out quickly because the sky cover has begun to clear out. Well, we made it up to 78 degrees today, only 4 off from the record of 82 set way back in 1945. Will this warm weather pattern continue? I'll have the answer coming up after this short commercial break. We're sitting at 60 degrees, which is, believe it or not, 13 degrees colder than it was the last hour, with that wind now switching to the west and gusting to 21 miles per hour. And we have some sideways rain coming down too, so be sure to put a jacket on. Well, we got some interesting weather to talk about happening right now. As we walk over towards Buffalo, we see that they're at 55 degrees and much cooler air, but then as we head back towards our neck of the woods, temperatures are ranging widely from 50s at Fulton to still 70 in Syracuse, so the colder air is working its way east. And that made for an interesting sunset tonight. You can see the clouds advancing over the quad as the sun set, and then once it became nighttime, you can see the heavy rain on the camera lens. You can see an expansive area of showers and thunderstorms that worked its way through the eastern Lake Ontario region, and that's led to very heavy downpours over the past hour. And this is all due to a cold front moving across. As we pan out the view and we take a look at what's happening across the country, we can see this massive cold front and associated rain and clouds from southern Canada all the way back through the Tennessee Valley. Look at the future cast, which is basically the weather in the future for the next day or so. Starting off at around 10 p.m., we can see the very heavy rain moving off the shores of Lake Ontario, but then by around 11 p.m., the back edge of the rain is working its way out of Oswego, and then as we go through the night, by around 4:30 a.m., it's actually going to be quite pleasant with just a few leftover clouds. And through the day tomorrow, we're expecting lots of sunshine and just a few high-level clouds, and that's going to be the rule through Wednesday morning. As you can see, nothing but clear skies. Welcome back, Oswego. I'm meteorologist Rick Garuckas. As we take a look at the current conditions, we're sitting at 36 degrees, and there's light snow falling out there. It's also quite windy out of the west at 17 miles per hour, and that's making it feel like it's in the low 30s. As we take a look at regional radar, we see some snow shower activity has moved off to our east. That was associated with a cold front that came through, and it's relatively light. But as we look up coming off Lake Huron, that is some lake effect activity. And what that's going to do is it's going to get some lake effect activity going over Lake Ontario later tonight that could give a slushy inch or two of accumulation. So when we take a look at the infrared satellite, I want to direct your attention to this little area of brighter colors you see over the UP of Michigan. That's a disturbance in the upper part of the atmosphere. And as that rotates down to the east across Lake Ontario, that's going to help enhance those snow showers later on this evening that could lead to some light accumulations. As we take a look at the national radar, this looks a lot worse than it is. It's mainly just light snow and flurries, except downwind of the lakes we have these little bands of lake effect snow coming through. And look at the pattern, generally this little circulation pattern. That is because there's an area of low pressure to the north that's funneling cold air down counterclockwise into the Great Lakes. So as we take a look at the top weather headlines, we have lake effect snow to end the week. The cold air is definitely here to stay, and it's going to get even colder as we move on into next week. So temperatures across the state are generally range from the low 20s all the way down to the low 40s, with a warm spot at New York City at 42 and the cold spot at Jamestown at 27. So when we look at the forecast details for tonight, there's going to be some opportunities for snow showers and squalls. The lake effect snow advisory is in effect until about 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and there could be about 1 to 2 inches of light accumulation with the winds out of the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. As we take a look at the details for Friday, we have the snow showers are going to start to taper off a little bit, but we're going to have this continued northwesterly flow of cold air coming down out of Canada. So it's going to be quite a chilly day tomorrow. Only getting to around 35 degrees for the high temperature. Light snow is going to be around mainly in the morning, then giving way to flurries after lunchtime. And we should just have around an inch, if that, of accumulation, with the wind switching to the northwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour. So as we break up the day tomorrow, we'll start off at 30 degrees at 9 a.m. with snow showers. By lunchtime, we'll warm to 33 with scattered flurries. And by 5 p.m., we'll be at 32 with a few scattered flurries lingering. So as we look at tomorrow night, we'll have scattered flurries lingering, very cold, dipping to around 29 degrees. Still a little bit of a northwesterly breeze, so you'll want to bundle up if you're heading out. So as we look at this weekend, we see that there's kind of a big dip in the jet stream across most of the country, and that's allowing this cold air to flood down from Canada. And this also leads to an active storm track. There's all these areas of low pressure that want to move through here, and every one that moves through brings a little bit of warmer air up in our area, and then the cold comes back down behind it. So that's why we're going to have little warm-ups followed by cold again and snow showers over the next few days. And another reinforcing shot of cold air moves by next week. Another dip in the jet stream. It's going to be Arctic air coming. And as we look at the details over the next 5 days, we see that temperatures are going to be stuck in the mid-30s for Friday, drying out a little bit for the weekend, and a little warm-up rain-snow mix moving in for Sunday before big cold shot moves in on Tuesday. And we'll have to watch because there is a potential for significant lake effect snow with that cold shot on Tuesday somewhere east of Lake Ontario. Good evening, Oswego. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Rick Garuckas. Well, as we take a look at those current conditions, we see that the temperatures are already down to 28, but it is falling quickly. I know the report says mostly cloudy, but we are clearing out fast. And it feels a little colder at 26 because the wind's out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour. As we take a look at regional radar, the only noteworthy area of interest is down in Ohio and West Virginia, where we have a little bit of a rain-snow mix. As we zoom out a bit, though, and look at the national picture, we see that we're generally quiet, a lot of clear skies on the satellite across New York State. But we're beginning to get into an active weather pattern with a lot of storm systems moving across the middle part of the country. And as we take a look at the national radar, we see that active pattern is bringing a lot of rainfall for the West Coast. But for us, precipitation is quite quiet, except for a little bit of snow shower activity coming across Michigan. So the top weather headlines over the next few days, it's going to be a warmer end to the week. We're going to turn much colder for the weekend, but temperatures are going to be quite seasonable going into next week. It's not going to be anything we haven't seen before for early December. Across the state, temperatures have a wide range to them, generally in the mid-20s across western New York. The cold spot, though, Plattsburgh, already down to 16 degrees. It's going to be a very cold night up there, but the warm spot in New York City is at 39 degrees. As we take a look at the forecast for tonight, we'll see a low of around 26 degrees. We're going to be clearing out, mostly cloudy early, and that's going to be quite cold with the east wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, we kind of are in between weather systems. We have the high pressure and cold weather moving east, and we have another storm system moving up out of Pennsylvania that's going to bring a rain and snow mix. So we're going to be dry in between these systems tomorrow. So we should be mostly cloudy. We'll get up to around 42 degrees, which is much warmer than today was, with that southeast wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. As we break out the day tomorrow at 9 o'clock, we'll be 32 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. By lunchtime, we'll warm up a bit to 37 and we'll clear out and become partly cloudy. But by 5 p.m., we'll only be at around 35 degrees with clouds beginning to increase once again. For tomorrow night, we'll get to around 37 degrees. There's going to be quite a bit of rain moving in. It's going to be a chilly rain with that cold temperature and a little bit of wind out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. The big story over the weekend is going to be a change to mild weather. When we look at the jet stream, it's beginning to orient itself west to east, which is going to allow Pacific air, which is milder air, to flood across the country. There's only this little dip in the jet stream here is allowing some cold air to linger over New York for the next couple of days. And as we take a look at next week, that pattern is going to continue. It's going to be stormy along the west coast, and that's going to allow all that mild air to blast across the country into our region, so the cold shots will be brief and short-lived, and the Arctic air that we had at the end of November is going to stay well up to the north. So as we take a look at the 5-day forecast, tomorrow is definitely the warmest day at 42 degrees. We're going to start to have a rain-snow mix for Saturday. Temperatures only around 40 degrees. Sunday is definitely going to be a much nicer day, sunny, but it's going to be quite cold with temperatures in the upper 20s. And then next week we have seasonable temperatures in the mid-30s with no major weather makers, no major snow that's going to disrupt people's travel home. Stay tuned to WTOP 10 for more news, weather, and sports coming up after this short commercial break. Welcome back, Oswego. Welcome back, Oswego. I'm 1710 meteorologist Rick Garuckas. As we take a look at the current conditions outside right now across the state, it's actually pretty dreary out there. Temperatures are stuck in the 40s over much of the region. We even have some light rain falling in places like Dansville and Ithaca. And this has been the story for the last couple of days. We've been stuck in this below average type weather pattern for late April. But the cloud cover today contributed to quite a beautiful sunset over the quad as we pulled the shade on the day and got to the nighttime hour. As we take a look at the weather headlines over the next couple of days, we see that it's going to be a cool trend continuing over the next few days with highs generally in the 50s for the first half of the week. We're going to have isolated showers continuing with a 20 to 30% chance from day to day. So that's a pretty small chance, but the showers are going to be around. But the biggest story is we're going to have a major warm up for the weekend with lots of sunshine, something that I think you'll enjoy because we haven't seen it in quite some time. As we take a look at what's going to be, let's take a look at the radar across the region. We have some light rain showers moving generally from the northeast to the southwest. This is all thanks to an area of low pressure that has been very slow to pull away to the east. And as we pan on out and look at what's happening across the country, we have this big storm system. You can see this big area of spin here over the Oklahoma, and that contributed to a lot of severe weather today. We had some clusters of powerful thunderstorms move across Louisiana with quite a bit of wind damage. For the details of tonight's forecast, we'll get to around 37 degrees. We'll have some spotty showers out there, and those overcast skies are going to be hanging tough. And as we take a look at the future cast over the next day or so, we have quite a bit of extensive cloud cover starting off at around 10 p.m. But as we advance through by 11 p.m., we have a few showers, very light showers rotating through. And then throughout the day, tonight into tomorrow, the clouds are going to clear out quite a bit. And in fact, as we go through the day tomorrow, we're going to see quite a bit of sunshine by the afternoon. And by tomorrow night, all that's going to be left is some very high-level cirrus clouds. And out over the lake, there might even be some fog developing by tomorrow night. So for the details for tomorrow's forecast, we'll get to around 50 degrees. It'll be partly cloudy skies. Most of the clouds will be in the morning with a light westerly wind at around 11 miles per hour. As we take a look at the tomorrow night forecast, we'll go to around 40 degrees. It'll be mostly clear, so it'll be a good night for stargazing. And look at that nice moon up on top of Sheldon Hall there. So great night to be outside tomorrow night. Take a look at what's going on over the next 7 days. We see that after a few cool days, we'll finally see some more sunshine on Wednesday, so that 51 will feel a little warmer than it actually is. And Thursday, Friday, we'll have to introduce a few chances for some widely scattered spotty showers, and temperatures still only around the low 50s. And then here is the big story. By the weekend, temperatures are going to warm into the low 60s. We're going to have an increase in sunshine, and that warming trend continues into the beginning of the last week of classes, where we'll top out at around 64 degrees. Now back to the desk. Good evening, Oswego. We've got some light snow going on out there right now, and it's 36 degrees, but it feels like 33 degrees because we have this wind out of the west at 17 miles per hour. So if we take a look at the regional radar, we see a lot of snow activity. Now, this is mainly light, and it's associated with a cold front that pushed through earlier this afternoon. But I want to direct your attention to these streamers of snow coming off of Lake Huron, because what that is those are some lake effect bands. And later tonight, that's going to start to influence what's going on over Lake Ontario. We're going to have some lake effect snow developing that could give us a slushy inch or so. So as we look at the next 3 days, we see that we're going to have snow showers lingering tomorrow, mainly in the morning, temperatures stuck in the mid-30s. Then Saturday looks a little drier with some lingering flurries, and we'll get to around 36 degrees. And then for Sunday, we'll warm to around 41 degrees with the chances of a rain-snow mix. Now back to Colleen and Stan. Yes. Well, it's going to be quite cold over the next week or so. Winter is definitely here to stay. Temperatures are going to be stuck in the 30s. The warmest temperatures we can find are Sunday and Monday with 41, and it's going to be a rain-snow mix before it gets even colder next week. And there could be some significant lake effect snow with that somewhere east of the lake. So it's going to be something we have to watch carefully.
Okay, and how's the weather looking for this crazy finals week we have?
For finals week, it doesn't look bad. It looks just average temperatures, mid-30s, maybe a few snow flurries here and there, nothing major. So I don't think anybody's going to be distracted from studying. You know, us meteorology majors, we can get distracted if we have big weather. And good evening, Oswego. Well, it is currently 29 degrees outside, and we have light freezing rain coming down, so watch out for some black ice out there. We have a southwesterly wind at 7 miles per hour, so that's making it feel like 21 degrees. As we take a look at the regional radar, the steadiest and heaviest snow is actually pushed off to our east now. This is what gave us the whiteout conditions earlier today. The pink is some freezing rain, the blue is snow, so we just have some leftover scattered sleet and freezing rain showers for right now. As you take a look at the next 3 days, we're going to have temperatures starting off around 33 degrees for Wednesday with isolated snow showers continuing. But for Thursday and Friday, the cold air is going to return. We're only going to make it into the upper teens and low 20s with more opportunities for snow showers. Now back to Crystal and Josh at the desk. The cold air makes a strong comeback the second half of the week with more opportunities for snow showers as temperatures will be stuck in the upper teens and low 20s. Just a pattern we cannot seem to shake this winter. Coming up next, I'll have the full weather segment after this short commercial break. You're watching WTOP 10 TV.